It's not about them helping someone else. It's about them building a real connection, not tolerating differences, but really embracing everyone's unique qualities.
I think it's important for students to learn something like this because one day they might have to be in a jury, they might have a law case of their own, you never know.
We've got close to 3,000 high school students that are serving as high school heroes in the state of New Jersey, impacting almost 30,000 elementary and middle school students in their communities.
This is a quarter. This equals up to this.
One of the things I heard a lot from the kids was, it feels like home. And I love that. And I want them to feel comfortable like that. That's what gets them to take chances.
Hello, welcome back to Classroom Close-Up New Jersey. I'm your host, Sean Spiller. We're so glad you could join us. Maybe you're a sports fan, maybe you're an athlete, a coach, the parent of an athlete, or maybe your thing is video games, or maybe it's chess, or Risk, or D&D. Me, I'm an ice hockey guy. Regardless, we're all captivated by competition. We revel in the pursuit of glory, striving to improve. We rejoice in our passion to reach higher. But there's something else. It's not overlooked, it's just not as celebrated. Competition is about connection. On this episode, we'll begin in Old Bridge, where students play unified.
Listen, this is a real game, this is not a practice, okay? You are the team captain, make sure everybody's talking and keep everybody hyped.
Karen Lewicki and these Old Bridge High School students are warming up for a basketball game at Allen B. Shepherd Elementary School.
1, 2, 3, purple!
It's all part of the Play Unified program.
Play Unified brings everyone together to develop a bond of true friendship. We started 7 years ago with about 20 athletes and partners, athletes being students with disabilities, partners being our Gen Ed students. There's always 3 athletes to 2 partners on the court at one time, and over the years, our 20 kids developed into well over 100 kids, and the uniqueness about it is no one should walk up to the team and try to figure out who's who, because it's a team and everyone belongs.
Move those feet, guys, move those feet!
No one deserves to go home at the end of the school day and not say they're part of the student body. So that was one of the reasons why we really thought about starting Play Unified. And the high school students also became ambassadors to start the program in elementary schools, and we're working towards bringing it into our middle schools.
Go follow Mrs. Lewicki. How are you?
After the game, the high school students worked with elementary students in learning centers to explore how everyday life can be challenging with disabilities.
You gotta get me first. I can't see. I know, that's why I was putting on these glasses that impaired people's vision to make everything extremely blurry to the point where they couldn't see, and their job was basically to find me just using the sound of my voice and the sound of my footsteps. Keep going. There you go.
The one person is gonna lip read and someone else has to try to guess what they're saying.
We're trying to button up the shirts with either having our hands taped or with socks on.
We're one cohesive group, and we work for a common end point, and that is friendship.
Each one of you are going to take a turn and try and read what the sentence is. To me, the Unified Club and Class is basically just a place where everyone can not feel excluded.
My name is Robbie and I like to play basketball.
Nice. There is no us or them, it's just us together.
Yeah, you have to remember the person you threw it to and who you got it from. Does that make sense? Everybody gets a lot out of it. It's a family, like that's what it is.
Why did you join, Sal? Besides making friends, what do you want to do?
To help out people.
You want to help out people? Good, good. Make friends, help out, that's what we do.
Old Bridge School District is one of our first unified schools in the state of New Jersey. And we're seeing some models now that are being transferred over to other schools on how to really inspire the youth, but also engage them.
Does anyone have any ideas that they might want to do for next week when we all meet?
We all could have a mini soccer game, and it isn't the point of winning and losing. The point of it is to make sure everybody has fun playing the soccer game.
As a group, we make sure
that it's fair, and we want everyone to have equal access to the fun and games and make sure that we can level out the playing field.
Green.
Our parachute activity, we connected to actual really learning skills of colors and numbers and following directions. And it's a gen ed student that, will help a special ed student to call the numbers and essentially empower the student with special needs to be able to stand up and have a voice and lead the play group.
The friendships and the bonds that they build are overwhelming. It's not about them helping someone else. It's about them building a real connection.
Number 3.
Not tolerating differences, but really embracing everyone's unique qualities.
My favorite is Capture the Flag because I get to see James walk. I get to walk with him.
Go, go, go! Go, go, you got it! Excellent!
He actually changed me because I usually wouldn't do stuff like this, but because of him, I do it all the time now.
We love running around.
When we look historically about what inclusion was 50, 30, 20, 10 years ago, it's very different than what it is now.
This is my partner Christian, and I see him every week.
When Kimura first came to us, she learned that by loving other students and caring for other students, she learned that she was going to get that back tenfold.
Like being in Project Unify is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's like the best feeling.
I didn't know that Play Unified had the power to bring an entire school building together. I thought it meant so much to individual children that were just a part of that Play Unified group, but really I'm seeing that it's reaching out to the whole entire building.
It's not those students, them students, your students, my students. They're all just students.
In education, we think inclusion is just simply about putting kids with disabilities in gen ed classrooms and hoping for the best. Here at Shepherd, we don't just hope for the best. We kind of envision the best and work towards that, and Play Unified just fit that vision.
Me and James are best friends.
When the Play Unified kids and organizers talk about opponents, they're really referring to intolerance and misconception. We're all on the same team when it comes to social justice. The fact is, informed citizens are just better citizens.
Court is now in session in the matter of 2-0 versus National Committee of Marathon Organizers.
I represent Henri 2-0, who is the plaintiff in this case.
I ask that you carefully consider the evidence and listen to our witnesses.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do. Were you present?
These students are presenting their award-winning mock trial case before a jury of teachers as part of a professional development workshop at the New Jersey Law Center in New Brunswick.
My students are here because one of the best things we do all year is mock trial. And these are kids that won an honorable mention last year in the 7th grade, and I'm here to teach teachers how to do it.
For the record, did you take any performance-enhancing drugs during the Paul Revere Marathon?
I absolutely did not.
Then how is it possible that your test results were positive?
The students created the case for last year's 7th and 8th grade law adventure competition.
Our mock trial case was about a runner who, after a race, was tested for performance-enhancing drugs, and his test came up positive, and he is accusing the defendant of spiking his water bottle.
The Law Adventure competition offers 2 topics every year, so we introduce the topics to the students, and we ask the students to brainstorm possible ideas for a specific case. They start with the facts of the case, the who, what, when, where, why. We decide who would be the witnesses that would support this case.
Definitely the most difficult part is coming up with the original idea. We had a point where we couldn't think of another witness for the plaintiff's side. And then another person in the class, she just yells out, "A camera woman."
The video showed the defendant, Mr. Dasani, tampering with a couple of the water bottles. And it looked as if he took something from under the table and then placed it on top.
Could you see his hands the entire time during the video?
No, but I could see his arms moving.
The students, they get to think of their own case. We get to write everything, we get to pick questions that we want to ask, and the teachers just kind of modify it. They say what we should and shouldn't put and give suggestions like that.
One of the things we really stress as we're writing it is we want it to be balanced, because we want to make sure that as you're reading it, you don't want to have a verdict as soon as you're done reading it.
I enjoy making the case, and that's a fun process, having all these ideas and then having to pick one that's really the right case. And then performing, I think it's a great thing. It gives you a chance to see what it would be like, and you really get to dive into the experience of being a lawyer. No further questions, Your Honor.
Does the plaintiff have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the plaintiff rests.
Thank you.
The goal of today is to introduce the whole idea to teachers who've never done it before. Someone is talking to them about the elements of a trial. My kids will show them what a finished product should look like. Then there's an elementary teacher who's going to explain to them how she does it in the elementary school. Then I'm going to explain how I do it in the middle school. And then some of the judges are going to sit and tell you what they're looking for.
The workshop and law adventure competition are just one of several programs sponsored by the New Jersey State Bar Foundation for students in grades 3 through 12.
We take very seriously our mission statement as to our role in educating the public as to the impact of law and the process of it, the betterment of society.
I think it's important for students to learn something like this, because one day they might have to be in a jury, they might have a law case of their own, you never know.
They could be introduced to the justice system and they could think, huh, that's pretty exciting, I would want to do something like that. And then they might aspire to be part of the legal system, such as becoming an attorney or a judge or someone involved, hopefully not the person on trial.
Henri Thuot tested positive and the NCMO followed their rules. So based on those simple facts, the NCMO is not liable.
He testified under oath that he did not take any drugs before, during, or after the race. I believe him, and I think you believed him too.
My team and I feel that by the preponderance of the evidence, the plaintiff has proved their case. It helps us as teachers to think outside the box, and it gives us ideas of how we can enrich the students' learning.
It's the most important thing I think I do all year. It hits all of the standards. The kids do critical thinking. They do research. If they win, they wind up acting. Their interpersonal skills are developed.
You do all the writing, you work so hard to get up to there, and once you get up on there, it's such a big rush. Everyone's watching you, you have to be calm. It's nerve-wracking, but it's so exciting at the same time.
I think my favorite part of the experience is coming here to the Law Center and watching our students perform. They've been asked back to perform for a group of teachers, and I think that's really an honor, and that makes me super proud of them.
I want them to have a really good time, and I want them to learn the law. I want them to feel about the law the way that I do. It's who we are as a country, and I want them to get some sense of that, of ownership of that.
Coming up, how are kids learning financial skills from their older peers? Stay tuned to find out.
When a child is empowered in knowing that they're valuable and that what they have to say is important, that will directly affect their academic success. So we'd be much better served in focusing on that and giving everyone voice. Teachers need voice as well, and to feel valued and appreciated, so that we can then facilitate that in our students. So I'd like to see more of that collaboration and working together and valuing what each other has to say, and then also making sure that every single child that's in our classroom feels valued and important. And then they can go out and make differences as they go off into the future.
Me and Chris Stevens will be teaching about our community, how to keep it clean, how to be safe in it, and we'll give you prizes and rewards whenever you do a good job.
They sound like teachers, but look like students. Who are these young people? They're Junior Achievement High School heroes.
A high school hero is a student who volunteers to teach financial concepts to elementary school students from all different levels, K through 5.
1 nickel plus 10 cents. I enjoy working with the JA Heroes program because I get to volunteer doing something to give back to my community.
100 pennies can also equal up to $1. If you have 10 pennies, that equals up to a dime. They was really enthused about money and how many quarters equals $1, and you know, what's a nickel and a dime, and what's a half of $1.
What if you did another quarter? What would that be?
It's 75.
75, right? 50. So 75. So if you wanted to get to 85, what would you do next? You got 75.
Who wants to read the
We've got close to 3,000 high school students that are serving as high school heroes in the state of New Jersey, impacting almost 30,000 elementary and middle school students in their communities.
You guys remember reading the story from off the pamphlet, right? I was teaching the 5th grade. We were teaching them basically the difference between needs and wants and how to budget. We were also explaining to them the value and quantity and quality of buying products.
Imagine all these businesses. What allow you to walk into a store and just, I want this from aisle 5, I want this from aisle 6. Nobody coming to say, no, you can't buy it. No, you cannot buy it. So that's the free marketing system. It allows freedom among the producers and the consumers.
They're giving a lesson that they heard from me as their teacher, but it's different coming from the teenagers. They're able to digest it a little differently so that they can use it later. And they're very excited also.
Who gave me the prizes for the books? Raise your hand. We are junior teachers, so we've been through all the training and stuff about business awareness, and we just go around and we teach. We train others lower than our age group and lower kids and prepare them for what's after high school.
Since we know what a good is, what is a service?
Our programs are available to every single school in the state of New Jersey at no cost.
Good job.
We provide all the materials that the high school students need in order to facilitate the programs in the classrooms. We also provide the training to the high school students. And then educators like Joe Romano actually facilitate the training as well to ensure that the high school students are fully prepared before they enter the classrooms.
How does people help in your community?
The high school students learn as well as the elementary school students because they learn valuable skills.
Who you think gonna make the most profit?
Presentation skills, leadership skills, interacting and managing a group of students, gathering information. It also gives them the ability to gain self-confidence.
How does people help in your community?
To recycle.
I've been learning to be patient with the kids, although kids can get noisy and distracted, but you should never give up on the kids because kids is going to be the future of our jobs.
JA Heroes, right there, heroes. They're already looking up to their teachers and us as high school students coming back and smiling and laughing with them, saying, oh, we're from high school, we're seniors or juniors. And they're looking up to us to teach them and break down each curriculum that we have and teaching it to them. So I guess they kind of look up to us as role models, so JA Heroes was the perfect name for it.
You'll often see shy high school students that'll be trained as high school heroes, and to see them blossom and to see their confidence expand is just, it really is inspiring. There's nothing more important than to help young people build their self-esteem, because with a high self-esteem they can do and be anything that they want to be. And that, in my opinion, is the most important part of JA's programs in the classroom.
What is a consumer?
A consumer is someone who buys something.
Not only is it a self-esteem booster, but they're getting so much out of it. They love working with the little kids. They love their enthusiasm, their smiles, their laughter. You couldn't ask for more for them, for all of them. Not only the elementary school kids, but for the high school kids too. They're just really fantastic kids.
Well, let's give them a big round of applause for what they're doing.
Last fall, Melissa Regenthal unveiled her new classroom, one with fewer desks, but plenty of seats.
It was so much fun to watch them walk through the door on the first day of school, you know, because they kind of did a double take. They were like, what happened to our room? There's couches in here, there's, you know, and you can hear the kids like talking about it. It was a very interesting first couple of days, for sure, but it was exciting.
For me, the couch is really comfortable. I don't have to worry about being uncomfortable, and sometimes it's distracting me and others when I'm moving around. So if I'm not comfortable on a chair, I'm always moving my chair around or just placing my desk in a way I'm able to look or able to be comfortable.
Regenthal was inspired by an article she read about non-traditional seating in the workplace.
It just made me start to think about how I do my work, you know, later at night at home when it's quiet or after school. And I always tend to, you know, go to the couch and sit and do my grading, my lesson planning. I never go and sit at my dining room table or at a desk or in a hard chair. And it made me start to think about how the students were coming in every day and sitting on these hard chairs and at these hard desks. And I started to research a little bit online about yoga balls being used in classrooms. And from there, it just snowballed.
I like the yoga ball because you can still move around while doing your work.
I really like sitting on the couch. I feel that it's very comfortable. It helps me work a little bit better.
I started finding a lot of information about movement while learning and how it increases the oxygen to the brain, how it helps with posture, which helps open up the lungs and helps you take deeper breaths in. And I sent all of this information to my principal in a presentation, and we discussed it, and he was so supportive. But of course, you know, we didn't have money, so it was really up to me to kind of do more of a grassroots type of approach to it.
The grassroots approach involved donations from family, friends, and neighbors.
One of my neighbors donated a whole bunch of yoga mats and yoga balls. I had family members that donated money so I could go and get some lap desks and things like that. I also went online and joined an online garage sale site, and I found a lot of really great items. One gentleman bought a brand new sectional couch, and when he got it home, he realized it was too big for the space. So he was giving away the middle section of it. That was in plastic, brand new.
Piece by piece, the new furniture made its way to the classroom, where it's having a positive effect on the learning environment.
What I've seen from my students has been so eye-opening. The benefits, the engaging conversations that the students have during small group instruction because they're more comfortable and they're closer together and they're in this environment where they feel like they can share with one another has really been amazing.
In case you were wondering, students get to choose where they want to sit.
It depends on the students and what they like. If they want to sit on the couch, and if they have to have self-control. If they're not going to get tired on the couch, they can pick the couch. If they know they're going to get tired, they want to sit on the desk.
I like the beanbag because if you're sitting in a desk, you're uncomfortable most of the time. So I feel like comfortable seating, it allows students to be more comfortable with school and learning.
I like to call it the inward chair. I like this because I usually like to sit in this position and it's easier for me to work.
You know, I like to give them the choice on a daily basis because, you know, one day they might come in and they might be tired. And they might say, you know what, sitting on that couch is not going to be conducive to me learning today, so the yoga ball is for me. To create a policy banning
the new seating also helps students with individual needs.
My resource room students benefit because most of their issues are focusing in class in a large setting. So when I pull them out to my small room, their focus is okay because they're in a small group, there's not that much going on in the room. But when I have to push into the regular ed classroom, there's a lot more going on. So by having alternative seating, they can do their work while moving.
I have had students with ADHD in the classroom where we've modified and made accommodations for them with the seating. Maybe they had a stress ball, maybe they had the bands. It tends to make them self-conscious. So the fact that everybody's doing it, they feel like they fit right in because everybody's doing it. And what's good for special needs students is really best practices, I think, for all students.
Regenthal hopes to inspire more educators to rethink what classrooms can look and feel like.
You know, I'm hoping to get the word out and break that traditional mindset of this is how education needs to be. We individualize education when it comes to lesson planning, and we're making sure that we're hitting all of Bloom's taxonomy and all the different types of learners, but we haven't really caught up when it comes to the physical environment yet, I think, in education. And I think that that's an important part of this puzzle. This should be a place where they want to come.
Alternative seating may not be for everyone, so educators need to do their research first. But it's certainly true that students are more receptive to learning when they look forward to being there. It's one of the driving forces in creating a successful classroom environment, a place that stimulates interest and skills that will someday help young people navigate the adult world, where they will experience the joy of being part of a team and the value of working together. And that's something we see on our show every week. If you'd like to watch more stories like these, check out our video library at classroomcloseup.org and join us next time when we'll meet educator and activist Ilyasa Shabazz. So, for Classroom Close-Up New Jersey, I'm Sean Spiller. See you soon.
Who gave me the prize?